flat out, point blank, Florida State was robbed. I don't know how anyone could look at that situation and say, well, we got to put in the best teams. That's bullshit because the best teams went undefeated in that particular season and one did not. One of the people that got in, well, two of the teams that got in did not. Now, I'm not big on the whole argument whether Alabama or Texas or Georgia should have been in. I'm just talking about Florida State because there is a lot of thought to me that Georgia is actually the better team out of the one I just listed. I get they lost in their conference championship game, but you look at TCU last year, who lost their conference championship game, worse. Like Georgia only lost their the SEC championship game against Alabama by 3 points. So it's not about, in my view, whether they lose a conference championship game, whether it should be in. Now, I completely respect the argument of they're just more available teams for this 4-team slot, and this is a thing that we don't need to really argue about because next year is going to be 12 teams or whatever the playoff system is. To that, I get it, but that's bullshit. That's a piss poor argument to say because we really have to look at, you call them a Power 5 for a reason. All 5 Power 5 conferences did not have undefeated teams. They had nearly undefeated teams, but the one undefeated team was Florida State. Not only did they lose their quarterback, they rallied and won, 3 straight games or 2 straight games, whatever it was, that are tough contests, and still were right there on the doorstep. The college football playoff chairman, who's named Boo for whatever reason, I want to boo you automatically, got up there and said, we, by our bylaws, look at players' availability in assessing what team will go next. Players, not player, but players. Correct me if I'm wrong. The second string quarterback is going to be back for their bowl game. He had a concussion. He was still in concussion protocol. Meaning, it was a player. Jordan Travis was amazing this year. I get it. But if the thought process is, we can't put you in because we don't think you're going to win, what kind of bullshit is that? This is a team sport. This is an absolute travesty that Florida State is not in the college football playoffs. And I understand some people would have to get moved out. Texas beat Alabama. That's why they're in, for the most part. And that's kudos to Texas. If they didn't have Alabama on their schedule, they might have been more shaky, but they were in. Alabama won the SEC championship. I get it. Georgia's best team, all throughout the year. I get it. Florida State, undefeated season, not in. That makes no sense when you're saying one player is going to invalidate the unavailability of one player will invalidate an undefeated season in the ACC when they had a bunch of marquee wins, including the last one where they rallied. Their whole team is elite. That's why they were able to win those games. Now, you want to bring in the predictive stuff, whether, can you even play against Michigan, or can you even play against University of Washington, or whoever you may play? I think that's just a flawed thinking, because what if you expand that? You say, if Jalen Milroe would have got hurt and would have been unavailable, but Alabama won a game, we can't put them in. What if Quinn Evers got hurt? We don't think, you have the quarterback put in. Michael Penix, who's tore his ACL twice. Hey, University of Washington, we got you ranked number 2 overall in the country, but you can't be in the playoffs because Michael Penix got hurt in your conference championship game. So to me, it's a cop-out, and to me, Florida State, I think you are well within your rights to do a lot of different things, including not showing up to that bullshit bowl game wherever they put you at. I would tell them, go F yourself. We're not going down there because we were cheated. Number 2, I think the legal course of action is a little much, but I'm not going to fault you for it. I'm not going to stand in your way. I would say I think it's a travesty. I think it'll go down as a travesty, but hey, I'm not going to blame you is what I'm saying. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to blame you, because you can't have a set of rules, set of precedent, because it's like 10, 12 years of college football playoffs where the winner of a Power 5 conference that's undefeated has gotten in, and all of a sudden the past and practice is now changed because of one player in a team sport. I can completely understand how they're missing out on millions of dollars of being in the college football playoff and having the opportunity for speculative dollars for winning that, and more people want to come into your university. That's a lot of harm. I can see how they can go into somebody's courthouse and say, no, this is bullshit, NCAA college football playoff committee. You went up there, had an interview, and said this one person is the reason why you're not in. You're a different team. No, I can respect that. But for me, I think going to whatever bullshit bowl game they try to pawn you off to is something that is an insult. I will shut down the season. And this is just my own personal thing. I would not be able to function in an NCAA world like that if I was Coach Norvell. I, to me, would be really, really looking into retiring. That's just me. I'm gonna just stand on business. I hate to be Major or somebody or King, to be King Harris. I'm gonna have to stand on business because you can't tell me I put in all that work, getting my team to do all that work. We're running in the summers. We're doing all these things in the spring. If we get past these games, we're gonna get to the other side. Me telling my kids that, and then for that shit to happen, hell no. I can't be the part of the NCAA doing this bullshit. No, I can't. I cannot within my soul do that. So for Mike, I know there's a lot of millions and stuff, so don't listen to me. I just know how I would feel about it because I think this is a crooked decision. It's a crooked system that has come together and has conspired you with really weak ass reasons on why you shouldn't be in the college football playoffs. It's not just the undefeated season. It's not just the conference championship. It's the people that they put in have a loss on their record, and you've played a legitimate schedule in a team sport. And they're sitting up here telling you one person's availability is preventing us from putting your team in. It's asinine. It's absolutely asinine. You look at Michael Penix, he has not been the same throughout the year. Michael Penix has actually tailed off, but they've been there when they need to win the game. So you're telling me just because a quarterback, say Jordan Travis did get injured, if he wasn't playing well, y'all would have somebody leapfrog them? That doesn't make any sense. And then you look at Alabama's resume. Alabama should not have won the Auburn game. The Alabama struggled against Arkansas, and they struggled against Texas A&M. I get it's the SEC, but those teams were absolutely weak. They don't have the resume that Florida State has. But yet, you're like, man, we're going to look the other way. You look at Texas. Texas played in the Big 12. The Big 12 was not a monstrosity of hard teams top to bottom. The toughest conference was the Pac-12, if we really want to keep it real. We really want to keep it legit. Throughout the conference, damn near 8 of the teams were ranked at one time. 6 or 8 of the teams were ranked at one time. And I remember thinking, shit, people need to go in the Pac-12. I remember thinking, shit, it's terrible that the Pac-12 is disbanding because they were so good this past year. Disbanding for what we know right now. Oregon State was ranked. Oregon was ranked. Washington State was ranked. UW was ranked. Colorado was ranked. USC was ranked. UCLA was ranked. Arizona eventually got ranked. So all of those teams, a majority of those teams were ranked throughout the year. And I'm not just talking about the beginning of the year, throughout the year because of the way they played. So we're going to have to keep it real. The Pac-12 was actually the hardest conference, not the Big 12. So you're looking at Texas's resume, and you're like, you better be thanking the stars you put Alabama on your schedule and that you won. And Alabama had the SEC gauntlet, but the SEC gauntlet is not as tough as it usually is. Not this year. Texas A&M has been consistently bad a little bit for the past few years, but they've been a consistent big program. Arkansas, the SEC West, LSU. You know, they Ole Miss. To me, in my opinion, the SEC was not as tough as it has been in the past few years. So looking at all of those factors, since they want to use external factors, I don't see how someone can say ACC, we're going to look the other way. When Florida State beat Clemson, they beat Louisville, they actually went through the schedule. They beat LSU, a really, really, really good LSU team to win the season. Now again, I'm not going to talk about Georgia. I really think Georgia could be viewed as the best team they the best team in the country. They lost a conference championship by 3 points. But this is just a travesty. We covered the show. I watched the show afterwards, and I'm totally with Booger McFarland, and I don't understand how they tried to downplay his indignation, because they're like, oh, Joey Galloway was up there peacocking, talking about, well, we are not the committee, we don't know this, we're all up in our feelings and da-da-da. No, you all up in your feelings, because we can see a travesty of justice when we can see that. Those people should have been voted in. So I'm totally with Booger McFarland on this. What kind of message are we sending to teams that go undefeated in a Power 5 conference? That is absolutely the message we're sending. If we don't deem you worthy enough, if we don't think you can win, we'll use whatever reason to get you out of there. So Florida State, I say y'all band together. I say you all come together and protest the bowl game they try to put you in. And let's go a step further. And I'm not talking about rioting or anything like that. Let me just back up right now. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about protesting, not the bowl game they try to send you to. I say, hey, I would really think about not showing up. And to go a step further, college football playoffs, I would send the whole team to each games. The whole team. Get them the best seats possible. And watch that game and let America see how they did that. Because they sure enough showed them the cameras of them right after that situation happened. They monetized them for that at some of those kids' lowest moments in their life. But yet they put that on there for advertising profit. In my view, we're going to get some more profit and send them to the games, because those kids deserve to be there. They deserve to be competing in whatever bowl game they would have been in, whether the Rose Bowl or whatever, then send them to the national championship game, because those kids deserved to have that spot, and it was taken from them by people who, with a very flawed reasoning, are going to say it's about the best teams. It's not about the best teams in my view, all right? Let me tell you that right now. It's not about the most deserving either. I think everybody's missing the boat on this. I think that the committee missed the boat. I think the general public is missing the vote. Most deserving, the best teams. No, it's about the teams that earned the spot. I don't give a crap about whether you deserve it or not. Did you earn it? I don't give a crap if you're the best team if you didn't earn it. You have to earn it throughout the whole season, not just the last 2 weeks. And the committee, to me, is rewarding people for the last 2 weeks and what they project forward. No, it's what they earned. It's what they put in the bank. I don't give a shit whether I deserve a $10,000 inheritance check. That's great. Do I deserve a spot in the college football playoff? Sure. If I'm an LSU, sure. I feel like I deserve it. Did I earn it? And LSU isn't just in my mind as an example. They didn't earn it because they lost three games or whatever it was. No, you did not earn your right to be there. Or is LSU one of the best teams in the country? Yes. So I could theoretically say, yeah, you're one of the best teams in the country. You should be in the 4. Sure, whatever. Why not? No, it's bullshit. Who earned the spot in the college football playoff? And without a doubt, if you ask me, who earned the spot is Michigan. Who earned the spot is Washington. Who earned the spot is mother bleeping Florida State. And whoever else earned the spot, I am open to interpretation on this one. I feel Georgia earned the spot. I feel Texas earned the spot. Alabama, I do not think they earned a spot, only for this aspect. They struggled throughout the whole season. They lose that Auburn game in a second. I don't know what Auburn was thinking. We don't even have this conversation. So barely winning by the skin of your teeth. Florida State did not barely win that conference championship game. They won convincingly with a true freshman at quarterback. So all I'm saying in my thought process is who earned it. Georgia earned it. Florida State earned it. Out of those 2 spots, I could have lived with that. If we want to talk about other teams earning it, that's fine. I just don't see that with who the College Football Playoff Committee went with. And let's just keep it real. They went with money. They went with the SEC. They went with past performance, not this season, just traditionally. Because if they really were looking at SEC games, they would have thought about Georgia. That's all I'm saying. Heritage Sports.